Hi all. So today we are going to see how to create a record for our user form. Initially we had created a form to save our user data and to save the data into our database, and for the same we will try to create a record. So record is very important part of Appian. From record, like, we can see all our data at once and directly take action on our data from the record only. Okay, so now let's see how to create a record for our application. So we will first go to new, and here we will select on record type, and here we have to name our record something. Ys is our initial. Okay, I will name our tutorial. Okay, and program name automatically comes tutorials. Okay, now let's create our record. We'll keep the basic settings. Okay, now a new interface will open which will have all the important features of our record. So first of all we have to select our data for our record. Okay, so if we click on tell us about your data, it will give us few options to select a data. So here, if you select database as your source of data, then it will be called entity backed record. If you select process, then it will be called process backed record, and if you select some web services, then it will be called service backed record. Okay, so currently we are creating only a database record, or you can say entity backed record. Okay, we'll click on next. So since it is an entity backed record, okay, let's try to keep it synced only. And here you can see a new interface has opened. So since it is an entity backed record, so it is giving us option to select from which table you want to create a record. So if you see, our table name was ys test table. So for the same table we'll try to create a record, ys underscore test. Yeah, test table. If you select the table, you can get the preview of your data. The same data is present in our database also. Okay, we'll try to click on next. Okay, next. Let the source filters. Okay, here you can see the preview of what is the field name in the database and what field name you want to give it into your records. So let's keep it as it is. We will edit it later on. Let's click on finish, and let's save our changes for now. So here in the data model, like, you can see all the important information. This is your data structure. Okay, here you can see the source. Okay, our type is database, and which table it is, ys test table. Okay, and this is our data preview, what all the data we have into our database. So it is showing here. Now we'll go and see our, from this icon we can directly see our record list. So let's try to see our record from here. Yeah, so here you can see all the data exactly as it is present in our database. It is reflecting in our records as well. So here we will try to create many actions so that we can directly add any data as well, and we can also edit the data as well. Okay, so it is very easy to create records. But here you can see here the name of email ID is like spaces are not there, phone numbers are not there. Let's try to edit it. Okay, so to edit the data, we have few options available here, each has their features. Let's try to go to tempo first. So if you go to tempo, it is showing like, do you want to show this record type in the tempo or not? So in the tempo, you can see directly from the records you can access it, that you can enable. Okay, list is very important part of the records. So if you click on edit list, here you can see the preview of your records. So you can see we can edit the email ID as well. So if you want to edit the email ID and give some spaces, you can go here to the email ID. Okay, and this email ID, you can directly click on this, so it will be saved as email ID. Currently you can see the preview as well. Phone number, or you can also go to the expression mode as well and edit it. Okay, so let's go to the expression mode as well, and we'll try to edit the phone number. Okay, yeah, so now now the data is fine, ready. So here if we click the save changes, our changes will get saved for our record. Okay, so now if you refresh your record type, the changes will now reflect in the column names. So currently you can see the column name is now suitable. Okay, so this is how we can create a record. We will see these options later on. And one more important point, suppose you didn't have created a user form and you don't have this table, but still want to test the record type. How you can do that? So in Appian community there are a lot of tables available. So if you just write, for example, VOF, so this comes with Appian community by default. So a lot of database tables are available in our community edition. You can create a record type with the help of any tables and practice. For example, let's select VOF customers and try to create a record for this customer. We'll quickly try to do the same steps again. Okay, so this time we'll click on new record type, and here we will write VOF customer. So VOF customers. So for example, VOF customer, we are trying to create a record. So to practice purpose, you can create a record with the help of any table. Let's try to save our security changes. Now our security has been updated. Now here in the database, since this is a database table, so here also we will keep our source type as database only. We'll try to click on next. Now let's click on next. We'll keep the data sync enabled, and okay, now here we will search our table. The table name is VOF customers. Okay, so here VOF customer, it will, so here the VOF customer is selected and all the data you can see here. Okay, we can click on next. Okay, all these characters, like from here as well you can edit it. For example, we'll edit like created on, then we can address. Okay, spaces are not required from here. You can't give any spaces here, so we'll try to edit that in the list as well. Okay, so let's try to finish our settings here, and let's try to save the changes. And after saving our changes, we can go to our record list and we can see how our record actually looks now. Yeah, so directly from our database table, this database table is already available in Appian community by default. So you can use this table to create a record, and you can experiment, or you can create your POCs based on that. Okay, so for example, all this phone number, tier, name, updated on, all are available. Okay, so let's try to quickly, so in our list, if any name is not correct, we will try to edit that name. So name created on, address ID, for example, updated on. So updated on is like this. We will give this name, we'll go back, and updated by. And we'll try to use updated by as well. Okay, here you can see, and for example, address ID. So if you see, ID is fine, name, tier are fine, address ID is not at all important. You can, for example, if we don't want the address ID to be displayed, we can delete that column as well. Let's delete that column. Let's click on OK. Okay, let's save our changes, and after saving our changes, let's refresh the our record, and here you can see all the changes that we have done. It's all automatically reflecting. Okay, so here now you can see you have to scroll a lot to get the record. So if you want to decrease your scrolling, like 24 it is showing, you can make the count less. So directly we can go to edit list. Okay, how many rows to display? So for example, we only want to display 10 records. Okay, and we'll try to create on okay, save our changes. Okay, and we'll try to refresh our records. So now you can see only 10 are there. So if you click on next, so now our record, all the data are showing from here. Okay, so all the record lists that are there are showing. In the similar way, we will try other options in the records as well in our next videos, how to create user filters, views and record action for that. So that's